Welcome back to Locker Room Dads. Really fired up this week. We got an amazing human being here. We've tried to find some time to connect here, but he is officially on here, folks. This is a Florida State alum. He can kick a football further than the average human being. He is an amazing locker room dad. Please welcome Dustin Hopkins to the show.
Man, I thought I was waiting for like a cued like fake applause sound or something, you know. Nothing. No. Hey, who'd thought Miami guy, Florida State guy, Baylor guy, all coming together?
Let's go. Mix it up.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about. A lot.
I'm pumped. Let's go,
dude.
I'm excited for this one.
Walk us through what's going on right now. Are you guys still going through OTAs this week, or did you guys finish up the mini camp?
We've got mini camp coming up this week.
week.
So we got mini camp Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I guess physicals and stuff tomorrow and that whole deal. Yeah.
So do you have a OTA the following week?
No, this will be it. We did OTAs all in one swoop and then finished.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we just finished up the mini camp and then we have like one more week of OTAs. So a lot of the guys are not really loving that, but a lot of the guys are kind of like peaced out. So
I was going to say, maybe they'll take the voluntary approach to these last days.
The coach is like, I hope you guys show up, but if not, I'll see you in training camp.
Right.
Dude, how's LA so far? Are you guys adjusting out there? I know it's a little bit different than Nashville, right? That's where their off-season house is.
Right. So the crew's not out here with me. They came out for like 2 weeks. My son, Wake, which qualifies me for this podcast at all. He's the reason. But, he came out for some school like assessment stuff to get him set up for the fall. And so they came out for 2 weeks, but otherwise I've been out here by myself. So it's been awesome, right? Get to, be stag for a little bit, hang out with some teammates, but at the same time, not quite the same as when you got the family with you. So I miss them. But they'll come up with me come August.
Oh, nice.
So once the school year starts.
Okay.
So we used to go back and forth all the time when it was just me and Gabby. But, since having Wake and school being of school age, we're going to have to split it up 6 months, or else it just doesn't work if you go back and forth every 3-4 months or whatever it is,
Yeah. How were the schools out there? Because when we got to Green Bay and like we got situated with the house, people were like looked at us crazy. We're like, yeah, we're trying to enroll in the fall, and they're like, oh, there's a waiting list. Like, oh, like, yeah, but you like try to drop like, oh yeah, but I'm a Green Bay Packer. Like you try to like,
dude, right? So like knowing you, and I'm like, I think we're very much the same. I would imagine, in that you don't like to bring it up.
No.
Like it's not like you're going to be like, hey, I'm a so and so, and then risking. Well, several reasons. You just don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be a D-bag. But also, you risk the okay. So I don't care who you are, But anyway, it's the stuff that you would do for your kids every now and then. In that, I feel like the only times I've done that is when it's like I have to for Wake to get something done, which is like it doesn't happen very often. But say like just to get, I don't know. Yeah, you need something for a school.
I mean, you have the card in your pocket. Hey, you got it. You got to use it.
It's like,
yeah.
They're like, why aren't you here? And it's like, well, like I play football and we go back and forth because you don't know how long you're going to be with the job. And then it's like you break it in that way when normally it's like I answer the question of what do you do? Like I'm on a plane, someone says that and you're like, well, like I work in sports or something. And they're like, oh yeah? And then it's like, what do you do? It's like, I work for the, you just say the team and then they're like, oh, you're in marketing. It's like, no, I'm not in marketing. And it's just like, let's pull in teeth to get it. Cause you don't want to be that guy that's just like, I'm a football player,
I'm on the field.
And then, oh, you're a football player. You're like a wide receiver. I'm like, well, I'm not fully a football player. I'm,
You ever heard of a place kicker?
You ever heard of one of those guys?
Yeah, dude.
Let me tell you.
That's always the best too when you're like in an Uber too. And like, oh, so what do you do? And like, you can go two ways. You're like, okay, I can either tell them or I can make something up. Like, I'm an athletic trainer. Like, that's always a good one.
Pat, we have a good story about this.
Go ahead.
Oh, y'all do?
We went to Chicago. We were driving up to go check out a new place for Pat. We get in this car. Car guy gets there at the airport. Hey, for Pat O'Donnell, yeah, great. Get in. Guy didn't say a word to us the whole ride. We get to where we're going. And he's like, hey, good luck in Green Bay. And we're like, what? Like, this guy knew the whole time. He didn't say a word.
The entire time he didn't say a word. But
He's
That
like,
caught us
no,
off
I knew.
guard.
I just didn't care to get to know.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I've seen enough of you on your podcast.
Yeah.
That's what. No.
Dude, so speaking about in the car, like, how is that LA traffic? I'm worried about you, Wake, and Gabby. Like, that's what I'm worried about.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
man. Thank you. No, it's been not that bad, honestly. Like, so we're so far south. Like, our facility's in Costa Mesa,
Okay.
so we're a good 45 minutes to an hour south of LA proper,
Gotcha.
down in Orange County. So yeah, it can get bad, but honestly, when we go in and when we leave, it's like I'm getting in at 6:30, and I'm not leaving. I'm leaving at, I don't know, 4 or 5, and it's just not that bad. Like in the mornings, there's nothing, and then even at 5, it's just not. I think my expectation was that it's going to be so bad, and then I got here, and I was like, yeah, it's not that bad.
That's good though.
So maybe if I thought it was going to be good, then I would feel otherwise. But
Yeah, I mean, most people make it sound like walking's faster on the highway there than driving.
I think, I think it'd be much worse. Like, here in 3 years when they make that move, the team's going to move up to like LA proper,
Yeah.
and I'm sure then it might be a different story.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll
LA
see.
proper. I don't know if I've ever heard it like that. Is that like?
Dude, I don't know, because honestly, I just forgot the name of the like smaller town that we're going to be in up there.
Gotcha.
So I was just like,
I like it. I mean,
That's
great.
the truth.
LA proper. It's awesome.
LA proper,
The city.
the city, baby. Yeah.
Well, let's dive into the family aspect a little bit. What was
Sure.
what was Dustin like when he was meeting Gabby? Was it through school? How did you guys meet? Was it a Tinder romance?
Take us back.
Dude, I don't think Tinder existed when we met.
That's probably a positive. Yeah.
So yeah, probably a good thing. We're better off for it. But let's see. So it's freshman year at Florida State, and so we're there in Tallahassee, and it was the time of year when bowl season's in full swing. So the school has broke, and most students are home. They went back home for their winter break or whatever, and the only people left on campus usually are like athletes who are staying there for the winter sports, their fall sports, or however you break that down. So the dance team was among the group of people that stayed back. So I was hanging with a couple of my teammates, and he was renting a house in like a not so great part of Tallahassee, and so we're all hanging out there, and he's like, "Hey, I've been talking to this girl on the dance team. I wonder, you want me to give them a call and see if her and a couple friends want to come over?" And we're all sitting there, and we've been hanging out like 3 hours at this point or something. And it was like, what have we been doing this whole time? Like, yeah, like make the call, So he calls a girl he was talking to, and the way my wife tells it is like, yeah, my friend said she's going to a football player's house, and we didn't trust that, they were good dudes, basically. So it's like, we're going to go there as backup, make sure that everything's all right and like that she's safe or whatever. And so then says she walks in, and there I was, and her whole life changed. No. If anything, the opposite. She was like, no, I was not a fan of yours at first. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you had long hair. I had hair. I didn't even know what to do with it. So like I had hair that was like coming out the front and like curling up. Like,
yeah,
I don't even know what I look like, but she was like, yeah, you're real cocky. And I was like, okay, well.
So you weren't afraid to throw out the football player thing there?
Something changed.
Yeah, you weren't afraid to throw out, I'm a football player there, but like when you're in an Uber in an airline.
I was like, golly. No. It's funny though, because I wasn't like feeling her at first either. She'll pour it on stronger than I just poured it on for me. But fast forward, I see that same group of friends. It's like it was called Mint Lounge. I'm not even sure if it's still around in Tallahassee. It may be or may not be. But there was a gathering party of sorts there, and it was so crowded where it's like you couldn't move. It was like this is not a cool vibe with a bunch of people. It was like I am like claustrophobic moving through this bar lounge area. You know what I mean? So I see them and I like squeeze my way through, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to stay here. And they're like, we're leaving too. And I was like, do y'all have a car? And they didn't. So I was like, y'all just ride with me. And so I drove like a little Mustang at the time. And so, not a nice one, not a GT or anything. It was just a plain Jane, but I had racing stripes anyway, even though I'd get burnt by a Civic if I had lined up with it or whatever. But we leave there, and I give them a ride to another place. But I felt like I remember feeling like I was the man. It was like
oh yeah,
4 or 5 members of the girls' dance team and me driving. I was like, college,
Yes, sir. You're doing it right.
Yeah. But so through that, and then a couple other encounters, we just like became friends first. We were not. She was in a relationship, and so I was actually looking to not replace some good girls that were friends from high school, but like I recognize the. Like it's nice to have friends that are girls, that are just friends, like genuinely.
For sure.
Like I love hanging with the guys, but girls just bring a different vibe. And so I kind of like the fact that there was not this like energy of if we were going to hang out, what are we? Because she was already taken. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was cool to just hang out as friends. And then that relationship ended that she was in. And so because I got to know her as a friend,
do they call it,
fast forward, it was me and a buddy. Say what?
Do they call it the friend zone?
I think he unfriend zoned himself here.
I was, and then I just made the transition.
Okay, got it.
All right.
Yeah, so me and a buddy.
History.
Yeah, so I remember it was me and a buddy. Frank Nicholas is his name. He was in our wedding actually. But we're in a. It's like I have 3 bar stories and I barely went out, but that just sounds worse than it is. But we were sitting at another bar and watching the Duke Florida State basketball game. It was me, Frank, and Gabby, and she had told us that I'm no longer in that relationship, and it's been done for a little bit, and Frank and I were like, oh, sorry to hear that, and
you though?
we're I was sorry to see her unhappy, but hey, okay. So we're walking out to the parking lot and we say our goodbyes, and Frank and I were walking together because we drove together. And Frank is like, hey, I'm thinking about talking to, like, maybe trying to talk to Gabby a little bit. And I was like, dude, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh,
and so we kind of stopped there in the parking lot, put the hands out and shook and said, hey, may the best man win. No hard feelings either way. And it was like, okay. And so then I fast forward, and Gabby and I started dating.
The better man won.
And Frank, say what?
The better man won.
Sorry, Frank.
Frank will see this. Frank's the man. Hey, Frank was better off because hey, he's with the love of his life now, Danielle, and they're expecting their first kiddo, and yeah, they're amazing friends. It's like, but it's funny. His fiance at the time had never heard that story. When we were at our rehearsal dinner for Gabby and I's wedding. And so as I was telling that story at our rehearsal dinner, Frank was looking at me like I was like, what? I just
kill it. Kill it.
Yeah. But no, they're amazing friends. It's just funny looking back. We laugh at that story now.
Honestly, that's a great story though.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah.
I like it.
Well, it was cool.
I feel like if you had a little more comedy and we got a movie.
Yeah. It was cool that it worked out where it's like, hey, we actually did remain really close friends to the point where we were both in each other's weddings, regardless of.
That's awesome.
That's
lady situation.
But you guys now have one child, right? You guys just Wake.
Yeah, Wake is 5.
Man, 5.
Yeah, he turned 5 in March, and he's. Oh, go ahead.
No. So I'm trying to go backwards. So that you were with Washington Redskins, now the Commanders.
That's right.
Yes. And
yep.
Was it pretty straightforward, or when was he born? What month?
Oh, March 14th is his birthday.
Oh, okay, so off season.
I was trying to think of the year. I was like, 27.
Yeah.
Got it. So off season. So I was like, I didn't know if you guys had a crazy story where you like run into the hospital, like Wake's born, and like you kick a game-winning kick, and then like you're running to the hospital.
No, nothing like that. There was a snowstorm. There was a major snowstorm that right after the year had ended, and we had to induce Wake, but they needed to do it before the storm because they were afraid if it happened.
Oh wow, okay.
That they didn't want us to get stuck or something. Yeah, so that was it, but no crazy like go from the game straight to the hospital.
Yeah. Well,
Those are
Pat,
wild.
Shelby
Those are
was
good stories.
induced, right?
Yeah. Shelby was
Say again?
induced. My wife was induced. I feel like it's super common now.
Yeah. Leah was induced. Like, it's honestly the most anticlimactic thing, right? Like, you just like roll up.
Don't tell your wife.
Oh no.
No. I felt like I was checking in for a hotel though. We're like, yeah, we got a baby to have. Like, you got any rooms?
It's like there's a menu you're ordering. We'll take a baby.
Yeah. We'll take one.
We'll take one baby, please.
Well, speaking of ordering, did she have any crazy cravings? Was she
Me? Oh, she.
I mean,
I was
you
thinking.
could too. I mean, you usually.
Yeah. Whatever works.
Yeah, a little sympathy weight. Is that what they say?
I mean, you can't let her eat ice cream alone.
Honestly. Yeah, I can't let her do this alone. This is in solidarity. I'm doing this. I don't know. Honestly, she was pretty darn good. I was expecting some, late night, like wake up, go get me some stuff, but she was pretty great. I didn't have any like late night pickled herring runs, or you hear about those weird flavor requests that pregnant women have. Where Gabby was pretty
straightforward,
pretty normal, if you will. Dude, what was crazy was learning like. Well, I guess I read a single article, which makes me an expert, right? That's how that works.
That's right.
It was talking about aversions that women have when they're pregnant. And typically it's around foods that could give them some sort of foodborne illness. So like this one time, for example, Gabby ordered chicken breast at a restaurant or something like that. And it comes out and as immediately it was in front of her. And she was like, I'm going to throw up. You've got to take it away from me. I was like, what are you talking about? You just ordered this off the menu. I can't get it out. And that's what made me want to look up this, research that a little bit. We were talking about foods that typically have like salmonella or whatever it might be. They're more inclined to have aversions to. And I just thought like, man, how amazing are our wives that happens. But they're, it's wild.
I think that's a good lesson for all the dads out there or dads to be. Like, you just have to have some patience. Like, you can't take it personally.
Definitely.
And then even if it's like ordering or if it's, I don't know, their mood changes like in 4 seconds, 5 seconds, like you have to be okay with that. Like sometimes like my wife's pregnant now and she doesn't do anything crazy, but it should be talking about something. And then all of a sudden, like it just flips. I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, okay. Hormones. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have a little leeway. You gotta be like patient. No, but that's interesting.
Dude, well, it's like you have to because, like, I don't know what it's like. Carry a human for 9 months and some change or whatever, and
I feel like it's like roid rage
or whatever. I'm just like, let's roll with what you're feeling.
Like, it comes over you, like you feel it. When Aaliyah was pregnant with our daughter, we were sitting there, and all of a sudden she's like, "I want Arby's." What? Like, I haven't even had Arby's in years. And she's like, "We're getting in the car. We're going to Arby's." And I was like, "I guess we're going to Arby's."
When you go to Arby's,
you're like, "Let's go. Let's find an Arby's."
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't want it as soon as they order it, and you have to be okay with that. Dads out there,
that too.
Dads out there, that's when you just eat an extra little bit of Arby's yourself,
and that's when the dad bod is formed.
That's
how the dad bod's formed. That's right. Carbo load.
Exactly. So
we're prepping too.
We're prepping. That's right.
So did you guys have a very anticlimactic day of the birth? Like how was that? Like walk us through that. Was it you rolled up, you were induced, right? So it probably wasn't super chaotic. I always envisioned like it was going to be like a movie, like I'm in traffic and I'm like riding the median all the way up and like I'm bursting through the double doors like on a gurney. Like that's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Right. Dude, I remember it went from normal to more climactic. So it was like the day before, it was just like a normal checkup. And I guess because of the storm and how large, so Gabby had gestational diabetes.
Okay.
As a result of the pregnancy. And so Wake was measuring just like a big old baby. And so they're like, hey, in addition to the storm, we need to like go ahead and do this because because there's gonna be someone listening that knows this a lot better than I do. I want to say that last couple of weeks of pregnancy, they gain, the later you get, the more weight they gain quicker. The baby.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So they were saying, hey, if we wait another 2 weeks, this Wake's gonna be like 10 plus pounds. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, okay, let's and my wife's not a big lady. So I was like, well, let's not do that, you know? So they do the induction. And when we get there, my wife labors for, she's going to get mad at me for not knowing how long. It's like, I did that for nothing, but she labors for quite some time. And
that's a good cover.
Yeah. For quite
just vague enough. Like sounds just long enough to like justify it.
Yes. Much longer than I could have endured.
There you go.
Let's just say that. And but Wake kind of got stuck in like coming out of the canal.
Yeah.
So they were like, hey, we've got to do like a semi-emergency C-section.
Oof, okay.
So she basically labored almost fully one way. And then they go back and do a C-section. And so I remember sitting down in the operating room and they were like, do you get queasy? And I was like, nah, I'm pretty good. And so then they're like, okay, then you can stand up. And I stand up and I'm like, I watch the C-section and Wake come out. It's nuts what they do. Like talking organs, like semi out of the body. It's like, it is wild.
So you,
but it's,
no, I was gonna say you stay below the sheet because a lot of guys were like that had C-sections are like stay above the sheet and like either talk to your wife because you know it's a lot going in there, right? Like you said, like organ.
No, I was holding my wife's hand, so we're face to face, but I'm standing up so I can see over the sheet. I mean, yeah. So I'm still back there with her where she can't see, but I'm looking down.
So were you like fully scrubbed in? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't physically scrub, but I was like in
the gear.
Like, you know, yeah, right,
okay.
Exactly.
Like Grey's Anatomy style. Got it.
Yeah, I was like, hey, do y'all need me to jump in here? Watch a lot of TV, you know? No, but it's crazy. So they were just saying how it was going to be even a harder recovery because basically she labored. They explained it. They're like, it's like getting hit by a bus twice. It's like you got run over once and then they backed up and did it again because you had both means of delivery in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dude, God bless her, man. Yeah, I'm glad that everything went smooth. That's tough. I feel like that happens quite frequently though. Like we heard that before too. You know.
Yeah. It's I've heard the same thing of how frequent C-sections are now.
Was that Gabby? You got to get that.
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
Like, the story was like this.
Yeah, let me tell you how long I labored.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah.
We'll speed up through this part. So you're in a hospital, snowstorm. I can only imagine like which.
Dude, ice cream.
What's that?
Sorry, my next thought was all the ice cream you get to eat as a father. You walk down the hall, they've got a refrigerator full of ice cream, you know. Anyway,
my hospital did not have that
either.
Well, hey, or it was there and they just didn't tell you. You just got to wander around.
Pat and I both had coronials, so we didn't even get to like leave the room.
Okay.
It was stolen from us.
This next one, though, Josh, you better get your ice cream fix.
Dude, I'm getting something ordered in.
There you go.
Yeah, you can justify it now.
Well, was there anything that she had to have in the hospital? Was Gabby like, I need my slippers or a robe or like a certain snack?
Something in the go bag.
No, but I knew the assignment in reference to what her first meal was going to be post-pregnancy.
Okay.
And that was sushi.
Really? Wow.
Because Yeah, because they're not supposed to eat sushi. Same thing, foodborne illnesses and stuff. And it's her favorite food. So I went out to this sushi spot nearby, and I just brought back a platter. I knew that we weren't going to finish, but I was like, if I'm going to go overboard, now's the time.
Yeah, you're doing it right.
Yeah. So I brought back a big old platter and was like, hey, here's your meal.
Honestly, that's great. My wife is craving sushi right now, and she's pregnant, and she came into our brewery the other day to ask our chef if there was a way that it's possible to consume sushi while pregnant, and he's like, I don't know if I would.
Tell me, there's got to be a way here.
Yeah, she's like looked up every single thing she can to see if it's okay.
Just some way to justify it. There's got to be a way.
I was like, play it safe here. Let's not.
What was that like though for you? Like so you go out, you get the sushi. Was there a moment of clarity like I just had a son? Like what was that like? Did you have that moment? Because you know how some dads are like, you go in as 2, you come out as 3, you got 3 people, and I mean, did you have that moment where you were like, I'm a father now, or was it kind of just normal and like you knew that you're gonna be a dad at the end of the day, like at some point? I didn't know if you had that moment of clarity where you're like, I'm now responsible not for my wife, but also for Wake, for the rest of my life.
Dude, so I've got like a threefold part to that answer. I'm gonna backtrack to my wedding day. One of my favorite parts of the wedding day was after the party, and you see all these people you love all in the same place, which is like amazing, right? But one of my favorite parts was when you get in the vehicle or whatever you set up where y'all are driving away, and it was just me and Gabby, and it was like, this is the start of our new life together. And so it kind of this in the same way when we put Wake in the car, and like I'm trying to figure out the seats and all like how things click in, and like the nurse is kind of like seeing us out or whatever, and it was almost like, oh, you're not going to come in the car with us, like come to the house and help us out a little bit. There's not going to be, oh, you're not going to take the baby overnight anymore. So it was. I feel like that car transition from hospital to car or the wedding to the car, were both like kind of clear moments of, oh, we're on our own now. Like this is on us to keep this human alive and to like pour into the soul of this person.
Right.
Or I feel like those were the moments that I was like, oh, this is kind of sinking in. And then
what a good comparison.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, and then to further,
I've never thought about it like that.
To further that, I think there are still moments that it has to sink in that I'm a dad, where I think in my own brain I still feel very like a kid at heart in a lot of ways, and then I've got to be like, I have to recognize that there are people that rely on us as fathers in a way that I didn't have to deal with before.
So, dude, I'm just envisioning you like, we talk about this a lot, like when you leave the hospital and like they make you go through all the safety briefings and like they make sure the car seat is properly strapped in. Did you and Gabby have like any funny moments like before you left the hospital, or like driving away from the hospital, you probably went like 10 to 15 miles an hour under the speed limit? Like you're like actually like trying to bubble wrap the child so nothing happens. It's like, please, like no traffic today. Let me just get home in one piece. Like, what was that like for you guys? Were you like, did you drive them home? I guess it was off-season, snowstorm. Probably had chains on the tires. I don't know.
Not quite changed. It salted the roads and stuff, but I'm sure that I was driving significantly slower than I do normally. That much I can assure you. But I guess one takeaway was, it was like a gift idea later for people that have babies. We were like, and this is not to dog on anybody that does what I'm about to say. It's just people also bought some flowers as a super nice gesture. I don't even remember who did this. It's not, so if you're out there listening to like, I did that, I don't remember. So you're off the hook. But bought flowers as a gesture. So in the hospital with flowers. But then it's like, okay, then I got to load all this up.
Yes.
You don't want to throw the flowers away. I got to load the flowers in this car with the baby and make that transition when we get to the house. It's just like, so Gabby and I from that point, we're like, hey, if this ever happens, we're gonna wait to give the flowers till they get home.
Send them to the house. That's good for everyone out there.
Send them to the house.
Don't even tell them what hospital you're going to.
Yeah. Keep the hospital on the low, and just if you know them well enough for their home address, then you send the flowers.
Where are you guys delivering? Hospital? No, I got that, but where? Hospital. Like, keep it real quiet.
That is a good tip out there, though. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. It's just the little things that, like, if before I had a kid, I would have never thought that. It's like, oh, we're doing a nice thing, and it is a nice thing either way.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, this would be one less thing for them.
For sure. Now you got to worry about the waters.
Yeah, you're concerned about the baby.
Yeah. Instead of the water spilling out of the flowers.
And then you have the thought of like, I was like, just take flowers, leave them back, or what, It
is what it is. So whoever's out there listening, do not give flowers. Send them to the house.
Send it to the house.
Send them to the house, baby.
But dude, let's talk about the games with the family. Obviously, they come and support you. What was it like for Wake's first time at the Redskins Stadium when you were there? Was it like a specific game that you remember? Did you guys have him on the field? Like, that's super special. Like, I remember the first game that Palmer was at. And you get those little bursts of energy, and like you want to play good and have a moment that you remember, like, like this is Wake's first game and went like 3 for 3, game winner. I didn't know if you had that with Wake.
Let's go with that. Let's say that's the first game.
Nice.
I don't remember what it was, but that sounds like it would have been a good one. 3 for 3 with the game winner. I don't know. I don't remember if it's the first one, but I do remember him as a baby being at the game, where it's like you said, Gabby came down with him before the game started, and I got a picture with him on the bench, like sitting on my lap.
It's so cool. How cool is that, though?
It's amazing. I think, and even before becoming a dad, I feel like my relationship with the Lord gives me perspective as far as like performance goes. But then having a child, a son or a daughter or whatever, it's just another layer of that perspective of, hey, something doesn't go right today. Like, yeah, that sucks, and I wish it went better. But when I come home, that baby doesn't care how you do.
No.
Or if you kick the ball, or you made a tackle, or whatever it might be, or how regardless of football, like somebody that report you filled out at work, your boss didn't like it, or whatever. It's like your family doesn't care, So it's like just that perspective is such a reassuring thing, and I think that was a cool part. Even before the game started, being able to just enjoy those moments.
Yeah.
On a sideline when when you're younger, and all those things are not set in place. Of like, will I play in the NFL? What will my wife's name be? What will I name a child if I have one? And then all of a sudden you're in that moment of all those boxes are checked. And you're in it, and I think it is a really cool moment. Yeah. Or this year, even as they get older, like Wake, it was his first time at SoFi, and if you're playing in SoFi, it's different than FedEx Field in a lot of different ways, but it's like you're inside so my son's on the autism spectrum, is that I know and Josh, I'm not sure or not. But so he likes lights and different stuff. And when you're in SoFi, it's like you're inside a pinball machine sometimes. With all the lights.
I'm sure there are a lot of lights there.
Yeah, it's got like the covering of that's clear, so it's like almost like that top pinball glass. And then it's got all the lights and stuff going off when something happens. And he almost thought like anytime applause was happening, it's like he was looking around like thinking everybody's applauding for him. Like, yes. Yes, this is amazing.
So thank you.
Yeah. So even now, there's cool new adventures as different places you play.
So he enjoys the games, like he likes the simulation, the lights, the noise, all that stuff.
Yeah, he does good with noise. And honestly, Gabby does have to bust out the iPad for a little bit, or else he'll get a little restless and want to move around. And but if he has the iPad, he'll kind of check back in and out with the game, back to his movies or whatever.
That's awesome, though.
So what's he watching on the iPad? What's a good one for a 5-year-old?
At a football game.
Man, he's always been into like real life movies for a lot of times. It's like he likes Greatest Showman.
Okay.
Elf is on year round for us.
No.
He's a big Elf
movie.
Yeah, he's got great
Elf fan.
taste.
Great movie. Great taste. Yeah. And then shoot, I'm trying to think of some other ones. Some animated ones like Despicable Me, or shoot, Ferdinand the Bull.
Nice.
Yep.
Some of those. Yeah.
He's
I'm
got
sure
some
there's
good taste, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah. He's I'm working on him. Try to show him the good stuff. Culture him up a little
There
bit.
you go. But when you
what about y'all?
Go ahead.
What's the movie climate in y'all's households?
Oh man, well, paddle dog on me. It's Disney at my house like all day long. Right now we're going through Tangled, so it's been Tangled all day.
We on a Tangled one too.
Yeah, we got done with Moana and Encanto, so now we're on to Tangled.
Those are all good.
They are good,
dude. Moana and Tangled even on kicks. So
they're good.
Real quick, Pat, before you go, I've got a little dad tip for anybody listening out there. We made the mistake of one of the first movies we introduced to Wake was Moana, because it was like real hot at the time. It was coming out, and we thought, oh, this would be awesome. We tried to transition back after that to some of the classics, like I'm just making this up, Sleeping Beauty, or and you could tell it was like, I'm not watching this. Like, I just saw a movie where the water looked real.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to bring me back to not stick figures, but significantly less realistic than what I just watched. And he just wasn't having it. So, people listen out there, maybe start with the older stuff and build up to these amazing
ones. Get them up there.
You cannot pull one over on a kid. They know, man. They do.
Can't go back, man.
Dude, Sophia the First for us, she's like, she can tolerate shows. You know what I mean? Or like Go Dog Go, or, I mean, I hate to say it, Coco Melon, that's like cocaine for kids. But like, she enjoys like 10, 15 minutes, but she likes dancing. She likes the music and she'll like dance around. So that's at the stage we're in, 17 months. So probably like Wake was, you couldn't really sit still, but we don't try to put the screen in front of her too much. Usually when we need it, you know what I mean? Like we use it when we have to. But yeah, she loves like quick shows, or she loves dancing to the Disney soundtrack of anything. Like on the Alexa, we just play it, and she just vibes out, and she just now she's doing a circle thing. Like she spins in a circle, and she learned how to do the circle, and she wears that move out. You know what I mean?
Who's got more rhythm? Pat, you're your lovely bride.
Oh, bride for sure. But yeah, hopefully she gets all the rhythm from her. Yeah.
It's like have you remember the commercial? I forget what brand it was, where it's the guy throwing a baseball and he throws it like horrible.
Oh,
and then it's like,
I think I've seen this. Yeah,
like some things you don't want to pass down, and it was like so pass down. I'm making this up, a Subaru or whatever it was, and that's what you got to think about the same things with the dance moves.
Well, are you trying to compare people that have Subarus aren't good at sports?
You said that. I didn't say that one time. No, that's not. That's whatever the commercial was.
I'm kidding. I'm giving you shit.
Hey, Pat, why you're gonna ostracise me from the Subaru community?
No, I mean it's huge out there in LA. Want that. I mean, you guys drive very like eco-friendly cars out there.
Huge Subaru community.
The eco cars. You know what? While we're on the car topic, Pat, I have to inform you, Dustin. This will be news too. My wife and I are trying to buy a minivan currently. We're going to try to get like a Tahoe or something. We have a Volvo SUV. Wife wants the new Kia Carnival, so we're trying to buy one. And I guess
how do you feel about it?
that's where things are. Honestly, it's actually a really nice minivan, but I've got my car, so we're good. But it pains me inside a little bit, I got to say.
So I'm a semi minivan apologist. Okay, Josh. And here's why. I've never owned one. In college, I totaled that Mustang I mentioned earlier. We played Virginia Tech on a Thursday night. I drove. I had some friends that had tickets to the Alabama A&M game in Tuscaloosa when A&M upset them.
Oh, wow.
Driving to Tuscaloosa, I total the car. I hit a deer somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Alabama. And so some friends, they drive out. I'm very thankful to them. Henrik's, thank you so much. They drove out and like made away from me, but the insurance company provided me a car, and it was a minivan. And it was like a spaceship. It was amazing. Like I would drive to class, and it had a DVD player, and so I'd slap a movie in there, go get lunch, drive to class early, watch a DVD before class in the back of the van, find a parking spot. So I say that to say all hope's not lost, Josh. I think like you said, it's a nice vehicle. You enjoy it, and I think another thing dads do is like it doesn't matter what other people think. You know what I'm saying? Like there's an aspect of like I don't care. Like I'll hold the purse.
You gotta own it.
I'll wear goofy shoes because they're comfortable. Like I'm gonna drive a minivan because it's a nice car. I think you should walk with that energy.
I think that's where I'm gonna have to fall here. I mean, I'm not giving up everything we've got, so we're good. But I like the Volvo, but I'll tolerate the minivan. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
Dustin has great moments of clarity in cars. He's been drawing a lot of parallels to the moments of clarity in his life in cars. That's probably when he knew he was going to be a dad. Like, I want to be a dad so I can enjoy rolling up to the soccer game and just kicking my feet up, watching my show and not watching my kid play soccer.
Slide those doors open, baby.
I'm here, but I'm not here. Slide the door open. Man. I'm here, but I'm not here. Dude, that's awesome. What I was going to ask you, you being an NFL player, is there anything that you guys do special on the road? Did you guys check in like on FaceTime? Do you do anything special, pregame routine? If Wade goes to bed, do you like check in? Do you like read a story or talk to him a little bit? Because I know sometimes on the road it's pretty chaotic, but I think it's really important. You try to stay connected, and a lot of people don't really understand like how it all works when you are an NFL dad on the road, and you do want to connect with the family.
Right. No, when I'm not in the house, I'm gone, man. I'm not connected to them. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm in my minivan with the DVD player.
I'm in my minivan with the DVD player. Okay, I'm gone. No, you're absolutely right. Like trying to stay connected is like, it's important. So especially because like our wives have to do so much by themselves. It's not an easy gig, And I know a lot of other people travel for work, so I'm not just saying that in our industry, but it's tough when one member of the parenting group travels and the other doesn't. So every I don't know when it's possible. Sometimes the team meeting, depending on what time zone we're in, just doesn't fall where I can do it right before bed. But I try to FaceTime them, and usually we'll say our prayers.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like together before we go down. Yeah, that's kind of. I'll check in before that when we're traveling, like when we land and stuff. But pretty much that's if I can catch them after dinner time, after bath time, and then say our prayers before he goes to bed. That's kind of.
That's like your moment.
What we try to do.
That's cool. Yeah. And he knows that he plays golf, or he plays golf, but he's not there because he's playing football. I say golf because probably all of us want to be golf.
Yeah, he just knows that dad's got to go to work, and then he's like, it's just all right. Let's say our prayers.
That's cool.
So he likes it when he'll bring Gabby under the covers with him, and then she'll bring the phone under the covers with him too. So it's like we're all under there.
That's cool.
Say our prayers. Yeah, let him go to sleep.
So what is?
Well, speaking of golf, when you're in spring camp right now, you're out there, family's back home. What are you doing off time, weekends? What are you doing? You getting out and golfing? Just
talking to you guys, man.
Yeah,
I was supposed to hit the links, but then I said Pat and Josh are more important. I'm going to spend some time.
We appreciate that.
Oh man, that is very kind of you.
Honestly, I'm still figuring that out. Like in a new place, I have played a couple rounds, and I enjoy golf, but I try to limit it. It's a lot of specialists don't take this mentality, but it's a lot of turning and spinning. And as lame as it sounds, I've always said to myself, and we do a lot of that at work, So I've always said to myself, if I ever hurt like I'm not Tiger Woods, but Tiger Woods, major back injuries at times, right? I always said if I cut my football career short because I'm swinging real hard at the course, I'd have a hard time forgiving myself.
That's true.
So I limit my golf heavily. Like I only play a handful of rounds a year. And then my plan is when I'm done to get after it, you know.
Oh, nice.
So we'll have to get
coming to the tour.
All of us together.
That's right.
Yeah. So not so much golf, but dude, I was actually thinking about maybe trying to paddleboard after I get off the call with y'all. See if I can do that, and then
yeah,
I don't know, go on a bike ride, walk around. That's Not the beach is not too far, so maybe just go lay at the beach. My skin is like see through, so I can't get too much sun, but maybe like 10 minutes aside.
No, but I think what you're trying to stress right now is how important it is for dads to have their time. You know what? If it is golf, it's golf. If it is laying on the beach without your family,
that's right.
like that's what it is. If it's a bowling alley, that's what it is. But I do think
hey, you're right.
I mean, everyone has their thing. Women, sometimes they like to shop and they like to hang out, book club, wine night, like whatever it is. I think it is important that you don't sacrifice everything. Like you do carve out, I'm not saying an entire Sunday or an entire Saturday away from the family, but like an hour, whether it's at the gym or whatnot. I do think that's like super important, especially your wives. Like some people feel really bad, like having a nanny for 2-3 hours or dropping them off at daycare, and they feel like they're actually not a mother. But I think it's really important for both parties to like do something to, clear their mind off of the day-to-day stuff. That's super important, I think.
Yes.
No, I think you're right. And I know, Josh, I don't know if you're about to say something. I don't want to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
I think you're absolutely right, because for both parties, dads and moms, is like, but like you said, especially moms, to have that space to like, pursue a passion of theirs, whatever that is, and have some space to be themselves. Because I think, at least in our situation, with me like working in football, you're able to kind of be on your own at work to some extent. Yeah. But when they don't have that, or if they're taking a break from working or whatever, and they're home with the baby, I think it's easy to lose identity there. And to kind of, I don't know, to try to work on, and for us as dads and husbands, create a space where they can try to pursue what they enjoy. Apart from, not that they don't enjoy motherhood, but apart from that,
for sure,
as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because then again, if they're feeling like themselves, they're going to be the best mom.
Exactly.
Versus being burnt out. And I say this, Gabby's going to listen to this and be like, "Yeah, what are we doing? Can you get on this?" But no, I think, and it's something that I'm like, it evolves, and that I'm still working on to get better at. But I think it is valuable.
I wanted to ask, since we're like pushing past the OTA phase and minicamp phase, we're going to have like that month and a half off. Do you guys have any vacations lined up or anything special that you guys, have planned, or visit family, or what do you got planned the next couple weeks?
Yeah. Well, during the year, it's like you can't do anything.
Right. Like now's the time for you to do anything
extra, really. Yeah, you're taken up for 6 months. So I wanted to make sure that Gabby and I had a little bit time of just to ourselves. So my mother-in-law is actually going to come up, watch Wake, and Gabby and I are going to go to Mexico for a handful of days.
Nice.
And then go back to Nashville for, I think, a week or something. And then we're going to go visit my I was about to say the number. I don't want to out my mom like that. She's got a big birthday coming up that we want to be there for. And so we'll go back to Texas, back to Houston for a while, and spend a handful of days with them. And then mixed in there, obviously, is like training and kicking. And I'll spend a little bit of time in East Tennessee before training camp, training with Coles.
Right.
Kicking.
Nice.
Actually, Pat, you've worked with them a lot. And then that's a part of my year I really enjoy too, is getting to train with you and like hear different people's like mental perspective on kicking or punting or technique stuff. And it's really cool to just, I don't know, sharpen each other in that way before the season starts. So,
yeah.
And that's honestly it. Just, those 2 trips, and then training and trying to make the most of the time we have before training camp. I think part of that too is getting any like little things, like finances, anything you have going with nonprofit things or whatever any players or other people have. Mm-hmm. Yeah, trying to get those in order before the season starts, knowing that I'm not going to be able to devote the time I want to in season to those things, you know?
Yeah. No, that's great, man. So, I mean, that's what this podcast is. We're sharpening each other as fathers. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's what I love about the podcast, because we get to check in, hang out, and it's just like what you said, when we go to Cole's and we hang out, we, kick some footballs, but it's also like, bouncing ideas off of each other, always trying to consistently get better. Right. So that's like what we're trying to do here on a daily. But speaking of getting better and like hanging with your wife, like your little time off, is there going to be any moments where you're just like hanging out, like watching a show? Because we'd love to ask this for moms and dads out there looking for new shows. I don't know if you have a lot of time right now because you're not, together with her, or maybe as you're binge watching a show without her and you guys are trying to do it in parallel. Because I hear a lot of guys do that like this time of year when they're like separated. Like, you guys have a show like that you guys are kind of watching in parallel, or a show that you would highly recommend watching together with your spouse?
Yeah, I mean, classic be The Office. Like, we went on a long run of that where it was just Office night after night. And then, let's see. We went on a New Girl run, which is like we're still on, but probably not quite as strong as it was at one point.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably, I imagine, when we go on like that vacation or whatever, catch a couple episodes of the new Stranger Things.
Okay, Stranger Things, people. I got it. I see you.
I put it on hold. We put it on hold until we're together. But
have you?
And then I just started. Honestly, we haven't been doing the parallel shows. I've been selfishly watching shows that I know Gabby wouldn't want to watch with me.
Give me, for example,
so like
that's smart.
Like Peaky Blinders,
Empire Games.
Okay, Empire Games. Got it.
Have you seen that?
No, but I've been meaning to watch that one.
Yeah, it's stuff like historical, like revisitings of these empires, of why they fell, a little bit brief history.
Gotcha.
And I just know that that's probably something that she's like, I don't want to turn that on when I get. Actually, they came out here for 2 weeks to do that school assessment I mentioned earlier, and I was watching Forged in Fire, and I got her on board. She was enjoying watching Forged in Fire, which I was surprised about, but honestly a little bit proud about too.
Yeah, like how does that work for you guys though? Is it you watch it, she's like on her phone, and then she occasionally looks up and spikes interest? Or is it like
pulls her in?
Or is it like, hey, let's give this one a shot? Like I feel like it never works out like that. It's either you're in front of the TV, she's doing something, wherever, and then she kind of like joins you, and then she falls in love with the show. It's never like, oh yeah, let's watch that together. You know
right,
what I mean?
Right. We've had both, honestly. We've had both, but I'm with you that often it's just like you fall into it one way or the other. So New Girl was like we've heard from several people, it's a good show. So you turn it on, and we like made the commitment of like, let's go into this. Where Forged in Fire was, I'm watching it, and she's on her phone or like editing pictures or something, and she kind of looks up, and she gets, I set the hook, and she enjoys it, and yeah. So it is. Or what's another show like? What is it? It's that kind of rom-com movie on Netflix. I get it could be a number of them, but like there's some give and take there where I've got to dive into that every now and then because she's watching it, and it's just like I just got to watch that movie. Hey, Gabby's calling right now. Hey, Gabs. Hey, Bryce. Sorry, you're on the pod. You're on the podcast.
Hey, Gabs.
Hey-o.
She goes, oh my gosh. All right, I love you. I'll call you back. Oh, that was an accidental hang up right there. I'm gonna hear about that.
Don't worry about it. We'll get you out of here in a minute.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's fine. I'll be good.
All right, boys, I gotta go.
If you don't hear from me.
All right. One of the last questions. Do you have a special book like that you read? Wake. Like this is something that I'm finding out with Palmer. Like, and I was always the thought like, oh my gosh, she's probably getting so bored of the same book. And like Shelby loves reading like, about sleep cycle or whatever about children development. And the kids actually like hearing the same story over and over again. And I'm like, this is probably so tedious and monotonous. Like I need a new book. I need to buy a new book. And then
they love a good book.
Is there anything that he just like loves and he just can't put it down?
let's see. I mean, I read him like an illustrated little like children's Bible
Okay.
that he'll sit down and listen to, or dude, some of these, what is it, something Carlisle books where it's like
Oh yeah.
the colors and the animations are like it's almost like he painted something, cut it out, and put it together. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
the caterpillar
Yep.
book. There's like a caterpillar
Yes.
one, and
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Hungry Caterpillar. There's the bear.
right.
Yeah.
Man, I know there's several that I'm just blanking on right now, but yeah, there was a stage where Wake would like you walk in a room and there's like 20 books around him, and it's like he just and they're the same ones, like you said, like loves the same stories and seeing the same pictures, and yeah, I don't know. Curious George was in the mix for a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I grew up on that. I love Curious George. Josh, you guys got anything over there that you're reading, Billy?
Hungry Caterpillar is the one right now. Billy
Yeah.
loves that book just because the pages get bigger and bigger. You flip through
Does she turn the pages? Like I
Yeah,
can't even read
she
fast
loves
enough.
it.
I'm like,
She'll keep-
okay, I guess I'm done. Like,
Yeah, just like
yeah,
Dude, same
I'm
thing.
like,
It's
all
like
right,
you're too slow of a reader,
right.
Dad.
yeah, pick up the
You're at a
pace.
6th grade reading level. Move on. No.
No, but that's awesome. Yeah, that was a question I wanted to hit with you guys because I'm in that phase now where I don't know if we're just the people of routine where I put the light on, white noise. She knows like sleep cue, boom, read the book, thumb goes in the mouth. We're at the 17-month mark. So a little bit behind you guys, but yeah, I don't know if you guys do the sleep cue thing. I'm all about it. Like sometimes I put the noise on way too early, and Shelby's like, she'll wake up super early. I'm like, I'm willing to take that gamble. Like I want. She's tired. She needs to go to bed. I'm dad. I know it's best.
Yeah.
No.
That's right. That's right. Listen to Dad.
Oh man. No, I think the routine's great. I mean, don't you all?
Yeah.
It's
No,
like
I live by it.
for sleep and sanity, and then also I think, man, for kids to just have something that's regular and consistent, especially with
Yeah, they know.
yeah, it's like oh yeah, this is what we do. Like, and I know for
Yeah,
Wake.
Billy
Oh, go
Billy
ahead.
goes in the sleep sack. So sleep sack automatically
Night,
means we're going to bed. Yeah.
Dude, Palmer
Dude,
grabs.
did y'all ever?
Yeah. Dude, she grabs a sleep sack and goes night night. I'm like,
Night-night.
yes, my
See?
girl. Let's go.
Did y'all ever? So there's a sleep sack, and then there's also the Merlin sleep suit. Have y'all seen this?
Oh,
No.
yes, we have one. It's awesome.
They're amazing, right?
It is so good.
So Pat, you know how sometimes like a baby's there, and their own like almost like nerves or reflexes will just like jolt them awake.
Yep.
It's like, oh, they were sleeping so soundly, and the jolt woke them up. So this sleep suit, they look like the like Michelin Man,
What?
Yeah.
and
Oh my
like it's
god.
kind of like a puffy big winter coat of sorts. It's like
Oh, it's
an arm and
hilarious.
leg sleeping bag. Is that fair, Josh?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and you put them in it, and they're like,
And they look like a starfish.
I gotta
And
look
it's
this
awesome.
up.
It keeps
It's the
them
best.
from waking them up. Yeah.
This is the first here, locker room
Picking themselves
dads.
up.
I think Dustin and I just pitched this. Yeah, we pitched this to all parents listening. Like, get
Dude.
them the Merlin sleep suit.
This segment brought to you by Merlin Sleep Suits.
No, dude, that's
Dude,
awesome.
hey, if y'all get a bunch,
Tag 'em.
you're welcome.
Yeah, you're probably helping a lot of
All
lives
Sunday
out there.
to the
A lot of families.
dads, Yeah.
No, but this has been
Well, Pat, bring us home
dude,
here.
This has been freaking great. We got a lot of nuggets of gold. People out there, probably huge Dustin Hopkins fans right now. You helped everyone out there today.
You can tame themselves. To who?
No, but we do appreciate your time, man. You can go ahead and call Gabby back so you can connect with the fam. We do appreciate your time. But
Yes,
until
sir.
next time on Locker Room Dads, we will see you later. Locker Room Dads is powered by Mantra Labs. After my buddy Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP, recommended this amazing new nutrition line to me, as a professional athlete, I had to listen to hear what he had to say. So let me tell you, Mantra Labs is an absolute game changer. For all you dads out there looking to have more energy, better hydration, and better sleep, look no further. Mantra Labs is the stop for you. So we've actually partnered with them, and they provide 25% off everything on their site. So go visit them at gomantralabs.com. Enter Locker Room Dads with no space for 25% checkout.